Romano Prodi, was the Italian Prime Minister from 1996 to 1998, and again in 2006 and 2008. Mr. Prodi has held many important positions, and one that I must mention is that he has been chair of Sino-Europe Dialogue at China-Europe International Business School in Shanghai since March 2010. I want to start by asking, what your overall assessment of the China-Europe relationship today, especially in regard of your days as President of the European Commission?
Well, the China-Euro relations are fairly good. We have not major problems, but they are slow. They are not intense as they should be.
But what are the problems you think we don't solve?
You can call problems, you can call opportunities, but it's not enough to increase trades, to increase even our cultural exchange. I think that we have to think deeply how we can work together for the future. Clearly, I know that it's not up to the Chinese to solve our problem. We have to solve our problem, but I do think that in the future of China, there is not only United States, there is also Europe, because I think that variety of our social, cultural, economic structure understands better China. This is a period in which we are very, very open to what is happening outside. Change always brings inequality. But then there is a moment in which you have to rebalance the inequality, and I think that China, the change that has been announced of the Chinese policy, they are to sum up in this direction, to decrease inequalities.
Since you actually started this China-Europe sort of a strategic partnership back in 2003, so it's now 9 years. And so do you see the relationship, I want to go back to the question, is healthier today?
The years of fear of China are over, not in any aspect, but are over, and China, the view about China is changing, because the Olympic Games. You don't believe how this has been important to give to normal people, not to intellectuals. Still, of course, there are problems of competition, problem of patents, but the image of China is changing every day.
For the better?
For the better. For the better. You start to become a middle level country. And so this moderates the fear, and then even more, look, you are importing a quantity of goods, even luxury goods. So the idea is not anymore of Chinese invasion. You still have a reminder of the fear of that, but of interdependence. And I think that in 10 years' time, the vision about China will completely change, because step by step we are doing some sort of marriage,
Premier Wen Jiabao, he said in September at the China-EU summit, he said, he made efforts for 10 years, but he still regretted that the EU has not lifted the arms embargo on China, has not recognized China's market economy status. So do you think this is going to happen anytime soon, or this is just
it's already 10 years that I had on my table the proposal almost already done, so honestly, don't ask me, because I agreed to that 10 years ago, and I think that was a mistake both on the Chinese and even more on the European side.
But on the arms embargo thing itself, I mean, the Chinese may think that, from the Cold War sort of experience, like Europe, U.S. always sided together. But is that because mainly the pressure Chinese believe from the United States, so that arms embargo? So is that possible, you think, for your EU to have a sort of own identity, be more independent from the U.S. Anytime soon in this regard?
Well, not in the short time, because with the unanimity, of course, it's difficult to have it. But I think that the future of Europe, in the long term, even the delicate, let's say, subjects like arms embargo or, let's say, all the problem of foreign policy, let us generalize it, they will be treated in a different way from the core Europe and the other country who don't accept to integrate their policy and their economy with the other countries.
We also actually see more frictions. I mean, so many anti-dumping charges against China. I mean, so do you think that it could be out of control, or is it going to have a too negative impact on the relationship, or you are comfortable?
I want to be very blunt. 2% of controversial problems always exist. We have to manage them, but we always had them, We had with the United States, we have with China. So is life, but the problem is not transform them in conflict.
So overall, I mean, you being a China observer, you're handling the relation between China, EU,
since 1983.
Yeah, so you have seen China's passage in the last 2-3 decades. So overall, looking to the future, are you more on the optimist side or pessimist side of China's future?
Well, don't trust me because I am over-optimist. In the sense that, now look, the biggest achievements have been, they can give the evidence of the possibility of other achievements, that you have a lot of room to grow again. Your growth, it depends upon the sense of unity and solidarity of the country, because it's such a big country. In my opinion, this historical phase, you decrease the disparities that there are in your country. I repeat, because as far as I understand, the Chinese are very different from the Americans in terms of the idea of a society and the individual values.